Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, Thor 4. Okay, anyway, so Thor issue number 4. This is a freaking unbelievably sick issue. There were a lot of moments in here where I was reading this comic book thinking to myself, dude, this is jackassing. You didn't bother explaining any of this stuff. What the hell, man? And then you look at the pictures a little bit more and more, and it's like, oh, he literally had a plan for that. Donny Cates had a plan to have Nick Klein draw in the way that such and such was resolved, even though it wasn't resolved through words. Okay, I'm saying this is a great conglomeration of the words and the art. Damn, this is good. We also wrapped up the whole, I will fight you, my brother. I will fight you, my brother. It's always nice seeing these two go at it with each other, but not when like the universe is at stake. I mean, it's a bit much. It's a bit much. Anyway, let's get talking about who made this comic book. Then we're going to break into the comic book itself. And there's a lot to break into. I'm not here to get into a whole bunch of spoilers. I'm just saying there's a lot in here. All right, going to unpack now. The Devourer King, Part 4, The Void. Donny Cates is the writer, Nick Klein on art, Matt Wilson doing these beautiful colors, VC's Joe Sabino doing the letters and the design, Oliver Coipel and Laura Martin doing the cover art. There's a bunch of variant covers in here, and the creators of Thor are Stan Lee, Larry Lieber, and Jack Kirby. All right, baby, let's get started. We have Sif going head-to-head against Thor. Now, Beta Ray Bill didn't do so good against Thor. In fact, he wound up getting Stormbreaker smashed, which is really, really fussed. I am not happy about that, and we're going to have to fix that with the quickness. Anyway, until then, Thor is ready to kill Bill, which is freaking ridiculous. Also kind of tropey, but whatever. And Sif jumps in the way. It's like, you abandoned your post. She's like, yep, that's right, I did. Back down. Don't you tell me what to do. What do you like, they're getting into it with each other, and it's not silly. It's really good. Sif stands her ground stiffly. Like, dude, Sif is bae, all right? All the puns included. Damn, she is hot in this. I'm not just talking about she's sexy looking. No, dude, she is hot in this. Pure fire. She's not broken any of Thor's nonsense. She's like, bud, you need to stand down, or I swear to God, I'm gonna jack your ass up. Thor's like, what? All right, fine then, have at thee. And of course he throws his hammer. Gee, you don't think Sif had a plan for that? She uses the Bifrost. She just lifts her sword a little bit and causes the Bifrost to come down and swallow up Mjolnir. Gotcha! Now, I am going to tell you where it goes because it's only a temporary thing, but it's letting Thor know, gotcha. If anything, you know what? You know what this reminds me of? Just a little bit. Think about the 13th Warrior. You remember that movie? Freaking fantastic movie, all right? What do you call it? There's the moment there where the Vikings are talking, and they're just like, listen, we need to get these other Vikings in line. We need to get that prince thinking how to fight the right way. And he's thinking he's just going to muscle through things because he has that, big, strong guy working for him and all these other people working for him. We're going to have to teach this prince a lesson. And unfortunately, sometimes teaching a prince a lesson or a king a lesson, teaching royalty a lesson, involves some peasants dying. And it's a shame. Unfortunately, you can't change who's in charge when you got a hereditary system, right? So what they did to teach that king, that prince, whatever that little kid was, what they did to teach that dude a lesson seemed a lot like what Sif was doing here. Nobody had to die. In fact, there was a saving of lives here. And that's one of the things that Sif does. I love that. I love that Sif isn't being written only as some diehard ass-whooping, I'm going to chop you all up with my sword thing. Because I've seen that before. Been there, done that. Have the t-shirt. Can we move along, please? So I'm really happy to see a very smart Sif here. And she's a smart ass, too, in some ways. Because she's like, at one point, Thor, you're saying such and such, but you forget, I have the power of Heimdall. I see everything. And Thor's just like, oh. There's a moment here that isn't fully explained, which is where, by the way, the thing with Loki was freaking hysterical. The hammer was flying back to Thor. All right, if you can't tell by the art, that's what happened. It was flying back to Thor, and it was a freaking awesome moment. Anyway, There is a moment here where Thor takes away Galactus's power. Now, he's got his own separate power that's coming to him right now. So Thor takes the power cosmic. I don't know if he does that from just what happened with the planet. This is really weird the way this was, and unfortunately art can't explain what is unexplainable. Thor took that power, the power cosmic, from Galactus in here, and it was really freaking weird. It doesn't, honestly, it straight up does not make a lot of sense to me. Maybe some things don't necessarily have to make sense. I don't know. I'm willing to just sit back and enjoy this comic book. You know what I'm saying? We're done with the whole brother versus brother thing, which can be fun at the same time. Of course, it was just a distraction. It was written to be a distraction. It's also one of those things where it's like, if Thor now has more power than he's ever had in the history of the written Thor, I mean, like, this dude is legitimately right now more powerful than Rune King Thor in many regards. I mean, let's face it, right? And it's frustrating to me to see Thor just like, oh, nope, I got to resort to old Thor, or I got to like throw my hammer at people. Yeah, that was really, I don't know, that was kind of moving things backwards, you know, it was wrong direction for me. But this issue was so much better. The art in this book, man, holy crap. You get to see the Black Winter on the final page in here. I'm saying, people die. There are a lot of lives lost, and Galactus is still a son of a gun. He's an SOB, all right? Thor's got to handle what he's got to handle. And, you know, we've seen cocky Thor so many times before, but oftentimes we wind up seeing cocky Thor who is then punched in the face by Juggernaut and launched through a couple of buses and into a building, right? It's good to see not just a cocky Thor, but a straight up brave Thor, not the bravado that we often, you know, it feels like. I mean, Thor is one of the most powerful beings in the universe, you know, but he's not always written that way. And it's cool to see him not cocky, but confident. And he's not only willing to, but able to back up everything that he says. And when I'm sitting here reading this book and I'm seeing Thor being a straight up badass, and having to restrain himself, openly restrain himself from just letting loose, specifically against Galactus, because you know he kind of wants to. It was refreshing, because we know right now what this version of Thor can do. And the only way to beat this version of Thor is through trickery. And hopefully, he learned that lesson that Sif was trying to teach him. This is a great book. And if all of these things are just a setup for what's to come, and it's not just power play, then this is going to wind up turning into one of the best Thor series out there ever. All right? Again, there's a whole lot of action in this, and nobody's going to look at this and go, this was all right. No, this was great. It was genuinely great. It deserves that title. That's the moniker, the Great Thor, you know? That being said, I really do hope that Cates is thinking about what he's doing far in advance. I hope he actually has an end game. And I don't care how far he pushes that back, as long as he keeps that general end game in mind. I'm down for this, man. This was great. Also, doesn't exactly hurt that when you get to the back of the book, I'm not going to show you the last page. It's not what I do. I will, however, show you the cover for the next issue. Oh, sexy. How you doing? But more than that, over here, bada bang. Quoteth the Ravens, the Hugin and Munin show. This is awesome. So the letters column now has a name, and it's all about Hugin and Munin, the two ravens that, mind you, are not actually ravens according to Donny Cates. We don't know what they are yet. But the ravens are actually answering the questions. So somebody says, somebody makes a comment, they write in a comment, and then Hugin and Munin each take turns responding, sometimes talking to each other about that comment, and then move on to the next letter. Okay, this is a really freaking good idea. Like, the letters page at this point is now one of the most entertaining parts of this book, all in all. And I'm pretty sure that's actually the editor doing that. Come on. I should have actually checked. I I think that it is. I don't think this is Kate's answering these. It's usually not the writer. They're usually a little bit too busy for that. Anyway, if it's anybody, it's what is it going to be, like Nick Klein or something like that? He's usually the guy who does a lot of these cool things. It might be Sarah Brunstadt or Will Moss. Anyway, whoever's doing it, man, it is freaking awesome. Like, that is pretty much epic. Anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap this one up right now. Hey, if you got any value out of this video, maybe consider turning your phone this way and clicking the like button because, you know, like it if you like it. After that, feel free to watch another video that's up there, and don't forget to watch ads, or at least let ads play so that your favorite YouTubers can get paid. I'm not asking much. Anyway, guys, that's going to be it for me, and I'm out of here. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.